Say good smoothie shit. What's up, guys? I just wanted to do one more video. Hopefully this is gonna be my last video on the whole police brutality thing, the protests that are going on, the killings, the Black Lives Matter, all of that stuff. I attended a Black Lives Matter protest the other day because I wanted to go out for myself, for one, to protest the violence that's going on, but I also wanted to see with my own eyes, you know, what was going on at these protests. I wanted to see the vibe. I wanted to feel what was going on and go there. And I wanted to preface this by saying at least 50, probably 60, 70% of the people that were there weren't even black. A lot of people were white, and there were Hispanic and other races and stuff as well. But first of all, it wasn't just a whole bunch of black people. And it wasn't a whole bunch of racist black people. And I see so many racist white people that want to say Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, or they're all racist and all these things. But have any of you actually went to one of these protests? Have any of you actually talked to these people? And you know, like you guys always want to come back with this whole all lives matter thing. And I've seen a lot of posts and stuff on social media recently, and it's so true. Like when people have a breast cancer event, you don't have people coming in and saying, but what about testicular cancer and all this shit? Because they're just focusing on breast cancer. That doesn't mean that lung cancer or testicular cancer or all these other cancers aren't relevant or that they don't matter. It's that this particular scenario and this particular event is about breast cancer. And that's all that's going on with these Black Lives Matter events. And what that means, the hashtag, when somebody says that, they are just pointing out Black Lives Matter too. Because, and now we're about to get into the thick of it. In this country, black lives aren't valued as much as white people. Period, point blank. And I say that because it's true, guys. I don't want to admit that, but it's the fucking truth. And it's a very subconscious thing. I don't know why, but in this country, subconsciously, the black man is just kind of feared. He's looked at as more dangerous. And even among my black friends, I just talked to my bro the other day. He called me after the shooting and stuff because he's got family in Louisiana, and we were talking. And we had like an hour long, probably over an hour long talk about what's going on. And it's so true. I don't know why, but subconsciously in America, and I think the media has a lot to do with it, we fear the black man. The black man is considered a threat, even among black people. And we were talking about this, and I said, bro, if we're walking around late at night down, you know, the strip or something, we're walking through some alleyways, walking back to our car, I'm like, yo, there's somebody behind us. And we turn around and, you know, they got a hood on and shit. If it's a black dude, you're gonna be a little bit more just wary and watching them than if it's a white dude. You turn around and be like, oh, it's some white dude. And why is that? Why? In my opinion, that's what's happening. I don't think that all these cops are going to work and just loading up their guns and saying, today I'm gonna go out and kill me a fucking black person, or even just a white person or anybody. I don't think that these cops are intentionally. Now, I think there are some that may snap and are having a bad day and may kind of take advantage of their position and their authority. However, I'm positive that that is not the case with most of them. I believe a lot of them are in high stress situations, like I talked about in my last video when I talked about this. I believe that the system they're placed in kind of creates corruption and whatnot, but we've already discussed that. Right now, what I'm discussing is the fact that everyone in this country, even black people, for whatever reason, we all tend to just view the black man as a threat. And why? And in my opinion, that's what we need to change. And I think, fuck the why, I think I know why. I think it's the media. I think we need to turn the fucking TV off and stop. We're so subconsciously like fucking pushed in the direction where we're pushed subconsciously to think in ways that we don't even realize. And it's so fucking true. And and let you guys know, I'm probably gonna throw the footage, like I said at the end. You know, there were cops outside, we walked by, shook hands with the police. We don't want people to die. We don't want to be against police. We don't want war. We don't want us versus them. We don't want this contrast. We don't want this. We want unity, we want peace, and we want love. We're just tired, and we just feel like there's just something that needs to be done. So I just want to say this, for all you people that want to sit there and say Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization and whatnot, go see for yourselves. And more so, I don't believe in this violence and stuff. A lot of you people need to do research. A lot of you people that think Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization or that they're violent, you think the same thing about the Black Panthers. But I guarantee you know nothing about Operation COINTELPRO. Google that. Google right now Operation COINTELPRO. Look into that. Look into the government-funded fucking operations where they infiltrate political organizations like Black Lives Matter and the Black Panthers, and they purposely fucking start violence at these events. And you know what? I'm even gonna put that in the video right now. There was a guy at the fucking protest that was looking real fucking suspicious. And I decided to fucking videotape him, and I made it very known that I was watching what was going on. As we were approaching a certain corner, there was a guy standing in the corner. It was an African-American male, and he was in all black, and he had on like this mask and shit. You'll see here. And he had these gloves on, and at first he was looking over towards like a roof across the street. He was not marching with us. He was already at that corner, and there were police as we were approaching blocks like in the alleyways and whatnot. So they were on their radios, they knew where we were going. And I really honestly think that this guy had some kind of bad intentions and that he was military or government or some shit. Because as they started approaching him, I saw this guy, and he already, just his attire, he looked very military and just weird. Not even necessarily military, but maybe mercenary. But he was motioning over to the roof across like this, in a manner like this, like pulling down a rope. And then he kind of started doing something with his hands and was doing this motion. And I was like, what the fuck? So I started looking over across the street at the roof, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is he looking at? And I couldn't see what he was looking at. And then he saw me looking at him and he stopped. So I looked away and kept him in my peripheral, but I looked away and I noticed him look over at me and saw that I wasn't looking at him anymore. And then he looked back over up towards what looked like the roof across the street and started doing this motion here again and started doing this shit. And at that point in time, I looked at him and he saw me, and I kept looking at him. And I made it very aware, like, bro, I see you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then a couple minutes later, that's when I took out my camera and I got the little footage that I'm showing you guys. But it was fucking weird. It was really fucking weird. And like I said, Google Operation COINTELPRO for you guys that just think that you guys just want to make everything about race, and you just want to fucking hate, but you don't understand. How can you say something about a group or about somebody if you've never been there, you've never experienced it? If you think they're racist, go out and join them, talk to these people, see what they have to say. And then if you have your own fucking experience, then your opinion's valid. Until then, it's not. Until then, it's not. I have never experienced, I have maybe once before, unification and solidarity like that. It was a fucking amazing feeling. The only time I ever recall feeling like that was post 9/11, right after 9/11, when everybody was waving their fucking American flags and had on their cars, and everybody was like, we didn't see race for a very short period of time. I don't know if you guys remember, but we honestly did not see race post 9/11. And the other day during that protest, there was no race. We were chanting Black Lives Matter, and we were mourning the loss of Black lives, but that was the only race that was seen on that day. And it's what we need, and it's proof that it can happen, and utopia isn't a dream, and it's very attainable. And that's pretty much all the fuck I have to say about that, guys. I fucking love you guys. One love, peace, unity, happiness, all that shit. We need to love each other. Please stop the violence. Please. Aside from somebody fucking physically doing something to you or your family, I don't care how mad you get out and let it go. Material things, let it go. We need to stop hurting each other. We need to stop killing each other. We're too fucking smart as a race, the human race, to continue this violence and destruction. I mean, we could literally be living in utopia right now with the knowledge that we have if we would just fucking positively work towards one goal together, or several common goals, or whatever. Please stop the violence. Don't hate yourselves. Don't hate police. We're just pawns on either side. Our enemies wear suit and ties.
We are going to walk around in solidarity around the park. We do not want to give the police a reason to shut it down. This is a peaceful protest. If you are not here for peace, you are at the wrong protest. This is a protest celebrating the fact that Black lives do matter. If you do not believe Black lives matter, you are at the wrong protest. This is a protest that states that police brutality needs to stop. If you believe that police brutality is not a problem, you are at the wrong protest. This is a protest for all the lives that have been lost at the hands of the police. If you do not believe that those individuals died in vain, you are at the wrong protest. This is a protest stating that we are fed up. If you are not fed up, you are at the wrong protest. Y'all with us? Y'all with us? It's time to do some marching now.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
There is a space that has been carved out for Black Lives Matter's 5280. When we get by that space, we're going to go completely silent. That is a way that we reverence that space. Those individuals have been sleeping overnight here since Thursday. I was there last night, so we're going to reverence that space to give them some solidarity. Because so often, we remember the names that make it to the national news. But if you have a family member that died by the hands of the police, we want you to know Colorado stands with you today. You are not alone.
Black like you know where we come from. Let me smoke, no problems away.